What are you using? Yeah, we talked about that. Awesome.
Give me a mic check, Rex.
Check, 1, 2, check, 1, 2.
Good.
1, 2.
Works. Microphone check, 2, 1, 3. Test, microphone check, 2, 1, 3. Check, 1, 2, 3. Microphone check, 2, 1, 3. We are on, Rex. It's only as good as it's gonna get. There's gonna be a lot of background noise.
No, not with the mics. I don't think so.
Alright, so you ready for midnight?
Live on location. Put that out there. Good. Turn off my phone. All right. Yeah, man. Oh, how's this? Is it good? Can you see it?
Gangster, bro. You look like a kingpin
Today,
on that chair.
Yeah, you did too.
The chairs, man.
The chairs.
You were talking about that podcast. What was his name?
Shannon Sharp. Shay.
So it's almost like the similar theme he has going on.
But we don't have the cigars and the fireplace and the whiskey.
Let's do the second part with the whiskey, the cigars, and all the great other. We'll do a video after dark.
We need to go to the whiskey room.
Guys, welcome back to United Photo Booth with another podcast that's going to help you rocket your business into the next level. Today I have a very special guest. This man is not only a true entrepreneur, but he's a straight up geek when it comes to geeking out on technology, hardware, and software. We have the one and only Rex. Rex, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing good, man. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. A lot of people don't know this, and once you guys hear this out, I want you to do this. Go on YouTube, follow Rex Photo Booth Reviews, because if you guys think that my channel has been informative, my channel has been helpful, just know that a lot of the technical stuff I learned from Rex, from the iPad hookup to how much of a difference it makes when having the iPad hooked up to like the actual cable, to the printer setup. Rex, you've done so much, bro. Before we dive into your YouTube journey, please tell me about how you started in the photo booth industry.
Yeah, I started in the photo booth industry back in 2012. It was a transition from photography. It was something fun that you can actually do print. So a lot of times you see the photographers, they go around, they take people's pictures, you show them, and they see it, but then they never end up getting this. And mind you, this was 12 years ago when we didn't have Twilio and SMS and email from our photo booth software. I think that was at the beginning, because prior to that, some of the more OG guys, they were lugging around these large photo booths and they were printing. So that in itself was a novelty. We're talking 2012, so 12 years ago, the technology has just exploded, So that was pretty much my journey. I've been in production my entire life, DJs, and didn't always want to be the first one there and last one to leave, and be at venues at 2 a.m. So that was the transition from photography to photo booth, which ended up helping me out because a lot of people don't learn the exposure triangle, which is very, very important to the photo booth industry, right? Photo exposure triangle. So that really gave me a head start in my journey. So 12 years in the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
You started off as a photographer, did some DJ. You thought to yourself, as an entrepreneur, I see an opportunity right here, and that is I can provide physical prints on the spot. I'm gonna bring my photography skills, get familiar with I'm already familiar, right, in your world of photography with the ISO, the shutter speed. And so
F-stop, yeah.
the f-stop, the lenses, and
Lighting.
understanding the lighting, the overall production, right away when you went into the photo booth industry, you came in with an abundance of knowledge because you can have the most beautiful setup, the most beautiful booth, in fact, the most expensive booth out there, but if you have the most expensive camera, most expensive lighting, but you don't know how to set that up, someone's gonna come out a little blurred out, overexposed, and it just defeats the entire purpose.
Absolutely.
So now we've transitioned into the photo booth realm. You're a photo booth business owner. Tell me some of the challenges you experienced during that first year, Rex.
Wow. Yeah. During that first year, it was just really trying to figure out, getting people to understand this open air booth concept, right? Open air was the first to do it, if you look historically, and shout out to them. But previous to that, everybody thought it was a booth, like this big giant booth, and there was a shift where we can do an open air, so like a studio that would bring you to your event, take pictures, and then there was the addition of props and the prints, and so all that was a challenge because it was all new learning curve. And it's not like, you know, everybody has a dye sub printer and you have to learn what a dye sub was, right? Or what a dye sub is. And I think the hardest part was figuring out the bridge, because back then there weren't as many choices. So that was the challenge. And then of course there was a challenge with scaling up your business, training people. So you're really running a business. You know, a lot of people have a photo booth, but that doesn't make you have a photo booth business. That makes you have a fancy box with a camera.
Yes.
So the challenge is really figuring out what people really wanted, what your packages were, how much to charge, like trying to explain to your State Farm agent what you're trying to do, what a photo booth is.
Sure.
This is early, really, this was early on.
That's
so
right.
There was a lot of challenges, but just, you know, now you can go out and you can buy contracts, right? And you can buy stock photos and stock footage for your business. But back then, none of those things. We had to come up with our own portfolio pictures, our own website, building a website, getting clients, finding, you know, going through the whole Google SEO and Google ads. And back then there was like Groupon that was just killing the market, right? So it was just it was a minefield. It was an explosion.
Minefield.
It was an explosion of photo booths everywhere, all sorts of prices. People coming in at $100 an hour, and some people coming in at $1,000, explaining to people what the difference. So there was a lot of challenges.
I'm trying to imagine myself a couple of decades back, 2012. It's not like we had these cute, nice portable booths. I'm assuming the booths from back then were probably even bulkier, heavier.
They were road cases. They were either
okay.
road cases or these large aluminum arcade style. Like Kingdom was pretty popular. They were Kingdom photo booths. Shout out to them. They were in a lot of arcades, and people were used to, oh, you put money in it? Like, so that was the other challenge, right? Like explaining to people, no, you have to put money in it, and it fits more than two people. Open booth gave us that opportunity to do large groups, where, you know, back in the day, people are thinking like, oh, you sit in a food booth and everybody sticks their head in it. Mm-hmm. So, and so the point being is the booths were really, really huge back then, and you have to have a truck or, you know, 2-3 guys to move it. But then, you know, there's a shift that became these aluminum booths, much lighter, more portable, easier to transport, came in plastic pieces, and just looked great, and it made setting up for the event much easier versus running the cables every single time, or moving a large box with the cables in it. You had to, you know, pick the lesser of two evils back then.
I'm just glad you just stayed doing the work, Rex, because like you mentioned, back then the game was completely different from the amount of time and strength it took to actually set up, right? to acquire these customers because technology was still exploding, but not to a point where information was readily available, like on YouTube, Udemy.
Right.
You really had to go out there and network and figure out a way to really gain that online real estate for your business. And it's funny because nowadays we can go on our Instagram, say we want to spend $30 in 1 month to run ads and hit submit. Back then you had to go on Groupon and, like you said, come up with these photos. Where from? Like, man, I need photos. It's not so easy to grab these photos. And then on top of that, you're barely starting off, you're trying to stay motivated, but then you're wondering, man, I'm giving massive discounts. Let's talk about prices. So back then, Rex, and let me know if this is my point of view for a lot of photo boothers that got started 20 years ago, for example. I feel like there was a lot more money to be made because the concept was relatively new and the competition wasn't as fierce, and there was two things. There was the supply and demand, but I feel like people were barely learning about portable booths, so it wasn't really recognized as a very pronounced known service. So you as a photo booth business owner, if you were popular and people starting to know about your services, then you can charge a lot, right? So my question to you, Rex, is during those first couple of years, were you making a lot more money hourly than you're making money now due to the supply and demand? Can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Oh man, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like back then, I wouldn't say that I made more hourly because I have to go back. It's been so long.
Right.
But in terms of prices, I think the goal was always the same. So what should I charge? People ask me that all the time, right? What should you charge? And one, you can survey your area because that's your market, that's what you're competing in. But back then there weren't as many booths. So I want to get to my point is the cost of acquisition was much lower back then. I didn't have to do the Google ads back then. Man, I actually got a few like high-end brides from Craigslist. Yeah.
Craigslist.
I know.
Groupon, Craigslist.
Yeah, Craigslist.
Oh, okay.
And so I think the difference, the pricing is always, so my advice for pricing is you should always charge what you're worth, right? What makes sense for you and your company to be profitable and pay off your insurance and your equipment and your just operating paper, media, ribbon, what else? Any other additional, your phone, your internet, your mileage, your gas, all that. Just make sure you're not breaking even because you need to have profit in order to survive, in order to pay yourself, and also, be able to have money to grow and to expand. So
With that being said, guys, know your worth, self-worth. Don't focus so much on what the guy 5 miles away from you is charging. Focus on your overall business goal and where you want to go as far as your trajectory. What trajectory are you in right now? Your prices don't have to be aligned with your competitors' prices because you guys are on different missions. Yes, the ultimate mission is to acquire clients, but how many clients can you actually take on, or how many clients do you actually want at the rate of how you want to run your business, right? Some folks don't want to bring in a large staff. They don't want to manage a large team.
Right.
Some people just want to do it with their boyfriend, their wives, their significant other, and say, hey, we enjoy doing this on Fridays and Saturdays, but we also love our 9 to 5 or our corporate job, or they're semi-retired, and they're like, this keeps us going and keeps us,
alive.
alive.
And just in front of people, so I'm just not sitting at home. That's the beauty of this business. If you don't like people, don't. If you're not a people person, this is not for you.
That's beautiful saying that you just shared, Rex, because I've come to the realization, I've had a lot of businesses in the past that didn't blossom and do so great, but I learned a lot from them. But during that time, in my early 20s, Rex, I was always trying to make more money, and that's what my mind was constantly, how can I make more money fast? Then when I went into my 30s, after mentorship and books, I realized I keep chasing money instead of chasing people. So then I started focusing on people, and I applied as a concierge position for a reputable brand in Westfield, and I learned about customer metrics, customer service, customer experience. And when I started focusing on the people, that's where the money's at. The people have the money. The people have the money in their bank accounts and their wallets. So you go out there and you go after the people, money will come naturally.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
and to your point is, if you're not a people person, this industry is not for you. You're better off being a digital nomad, doing something behind the
Be
scenes.
back end, be the accountant. I'm not saying you can't work for the photo booth, but to be out there, it's a part of your brand because they're not coming into our store. Every time we take our equipment out and present ourselves, that is our business, that is our store, and that's what people are looking at. So if you're sitting there, being on your phone and just standing up when people come, or you're not interacting, because that's the key. That's something it's kind of hard to teach. You know, I for example, people always say, you know, do your kids work with you, right? And my kids are always willing to help me move stuff, but they say, Dad, I'll help you, and I don't care what you pay me, but do I have to talk to people?
That's so that's so transparent, and it's like so raw.
It's so, yeah, it's so innocent, and
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it. Like they're afraid to talk to people. I remember when I was their age, you know, 12, 16, I'd be out there selling lemonade or something, you know.
Vocalize
Yeah.
your lemonade stand.
Yeah. So if you have that personality, this job is for you.
Okay. Thank you, Rex. Okay, now we are in motion.
Yeah.
You're getting bookings. You've acquired photo booths.
Mhm.
At this point, are you interested in going through a hiring process and bringing some people on board?
Yeah.
Or just tell me how you gradually started scaling, please.
Yeah, that's the great question. So I'm gonna go backwards a little bit,
Sure.
and just reiterate what you said is there's all types of photo booth owners. There's guys, production guys. Not only do they have a photo booth, but they have a DJ, they do dance floors, they do casino tables, because they have long-term clients where they say, yeah, this year we're doing our Christmas party again for the chamber or this association, and oh yeah, we'd like to like a photo booth, right? So there's that type of operator. Then, like you said, there's the couples, the boyfriend and girlfriend, the husband and wife. A lot of companies start like that. One of them usually be really outgoing, the other one will collect the money.
Does the heavy lifting and
Right. Or one of them is really technical, and they know how to set up the margins and the graphics, and then the other one is just so bubbly, people person.
That's a great balance.
Right, it's a great balance. And then you have, I guess the third, another category is the photo booth only company. We call it a multi-op. And so it would be somebody who has 7 booths, because that's the only way to grow. It's a horizontal growth, right? There's vertical and then there's horizontal. And so if you really want to take your business to the next level, you have to scale, which in turn means you have to hire more people. You have to replicate yourself to make sure that all these people that go out represent your company, not sitting on their phone. They take down all the wires, make everything look beautiful, and here's the value bomb. So if you guys watch this far, I'm going to give you the value bomb. So in terms of making this a living, to be in multi-op, you have to scale, and there's 2 different ways to scale. One way to scale, okay, and I'll break it down like this. Here's the value bomb, right? So an average photo booth that goes out, 2 hours, $500, okay? So in 1 month, even it's weird, we work 13 months a year, but there's only 12 months, which is kind of weird, right? Because 1 month has 4 weeks, and in 12 months, there's 48 weeks. But in school, we learned that there's 52 weeks, so we're getting cheated 1 month out of our salaries.
Right, that's why they put us on salary.
Oh, yeah, right? So all that vacation time they're giving you doesn't really even count because you're working 12 months. Okay, so here we go. Here's the math. Here's the actual value bomb. So $500 a week, you have a 9 to 5, you're a couple booth, and you work every Saturday, right? And that's hard to do. Book out every Saturday. That's $2,000 a month, 24,000 a year. So what if you wanted to make 100? The only way to make 100 is to do 100 events, right? And charge a thousand per event. And that's just, I mean, everybody wants to do that, and there will be some events that you can charge 1,000 for. But on the average, it's 500. So if you're running just that one booth every month, you're only making 2,000, 24,000 a year. So here is the answer. If you want to go from zero, and I'm gonna have a seminar about this, is when you go from 0 to 100, you have to be running a minimum of 4 booths, and I'll break it down mathematically for you. You have to do 4 events every Saturday, have 4 teams going out, so you're making 2,000 every week, 8,000 every month, 96,000 every year, and that's how you go from 0 to 100,000. And so you're asking me, how do we scale? You have to take what you already know, perfect it, and replicate it a minimum of 4 times. If you only want to make 70, then you do 3 booths. Same concept, same printer, and you uniform it. You know, you make it the standard. So if one person takes this booth or another person takes that booth, they're all the same equipment. We're all using all this, you know, like Darkroom or Breeze or Spark Booth, right? That's a great software. You have it the same on all the machines, and then you just replicate it 4 times. And so that's the growth, but that's also where the growing pains come. The growing pains come is your expectations and the way you treat a customer needs to be replicated uniformly across your entire team. So now, not only are you maintaining equipment and setting it up and artwork, but you're also maintaining people. You're maintaining employees or outsourcers or white labels, and that's difficult because in any business, I don't care what business you run, people are like one of the hardest aspects of running a business, because man, you got this guy who's, you know, I have this attendant, she's so freaking awesome, best in the industry, so bubbly, multilingual, like she has this personality that blows like my entire team's out of the water. She's the type that goes, oh hi honey, oh you look so cute, let's go ahead and take a picture. Oh don't worry, you dropped the prop, let me get that for you. Let's go again. Oh you didn't like that? I mean, that's just like energy,
Yes.
you know? And it's hard to teach that, but man, getting her to be on time, was so painful. And so that is just like kills me. Like she comes on the floor, she's an absolute rock star, and she's just so bubbly, you know, like anybody would love her. And
That's a tough one.
but yeah, like, and you want it like, oh, you're late, you're done, and it's so hard. Usually, you know, our mantra, hire fast, fire faster, right?
Okay.
And that one is so tough. So if you ask me, one of the hardest things about running business is managing people and personality. Or you have people go out in teams, and sometimes the work isn't equal, or one person's always on the phone or going to the bathroom or just not into it, you know? So that's growing pains of a company. So when you multi-op, go to multiple booths, that's one of the things that you have to try to keep consistent and manage.
So for everyone listening right now, one of the greatest challenges we're going to face, aside of the initial one, is to actually buy the booth, invest, and get started, is the scaling part.
Yeah.
Because not only do you have to be a great leader, you also have to be a great influencer in the realm of managing your team, because that fire needs to stay burning throughout the event when you're not there. That team member has to, like you said, be punctual, have that bubble.
Dress well, right?
Yeah.
Be presentable. Like, are you serious? Shorts? Oh, he told me it was an outside event.
This is great information you're putting down, Rex, because
Absolutely.
it sets the expectation, and those that are going through these pains right now, you are not alone. And I think it's really important that as you are recruiting and going through these interview process, do it in a way where it's in bulk. Like you're interviewing 3 to 4 to 5 people at one time, and don't hire people so much because of their bubbly personality or their good looks or their communication skills. But really take your time on hiring people, because if you do it out of desperation because you have an event coming up and you have 3 booths, but there's only one, like 2 people to man it, and then you need a person right away, you're gonna do things out of pressure and desperation, and that's when you end up with someone that cannot be the best fit, can barely get by that event, but it's not the kind of member that you can later recruit and bring on as an actual manager for your business.
Yeah.
So the way I'm looking at it right now, Rex, is the people that I'm bringing on have to have management skills, and those people are going to cost you sometimes a little bit more money, but
worth it.
It's worth it. And what I'm
That's
looking
it.
at it now, the way I'm seeing things is everything that I'm doing for the business, I'm always thinking, how fast can I hand over the steering wheel?
Right.
And the only way you can do that is hiring people that are, one, that have the natural leadership built in, the people skills, being punctual, communication. And like you said, those people are not gonna come at a cheap price, but they're gonna be the best investment for your business, because they're the ones that are gonna be the pillars of your business, right, Rex? So going back to scaling the business, Rex, what's your style right now? Because you've been doing this for over 10 years, right? What's your style as far as, I am very pleased with my business where it's at right now? Like, how large is your team? Or how many booths do you like having out a month? Just tell me, because you're at a point now where it's like, I want to pick the low-hanging fruit, right? I want to have this on autopilot. I want to focus my energy on other things that I'm passionate about. Where are you right now in your journey, Rex, with the photo booth business?
Yeah, so one of the things that's really cool about running a business this long is, I think a lot of the question is, man, where do you get your clients, right? So it's not really about where you get your clients, because we can do a whole episode on just where to get clients. You're talking referrals, you're talking repeats, Google Ads, Google search, Yelp, even Bark, right? Bark. I think Groupon is still around. So it's not really about where you get your clients, but right now, to answer your question, our focus is retaining our repeat long-term core corporate clients. Yeah, and I'll give you one example is, we signed with a large marketing firm that works for, that is the arm of the marketing arm of large commercial strip malls, like Westfield, right? That's huge. They manage like 10 different malls, and every year one of the biggest draws is Santa photos. Yeah, and so at your high-end malls where it's dead center and they have the Santa experience, that's because they just made a store out of the middle of the walkway, right? And so there are some malls, that the smaller malls, that don't have that traffic, or they use photo booth as a marketing tool to get people to come in. And what they'll do is they'll get a bunch of stores to pay for a photo booth and say, hey, if you have a receipt from the Gap, or if you have a receipt from Tommy Bahamas, or this hot dog store, you can go to the photo booth and take a picture with Santa, right? And so, to answer your question, we focus on our long-term clients, because that activation goes on like 2-3 weeks. Actually, it starts in November, Thanksgiving weekend, and all through like the last day, December 24th, 7 a.m., come see Santa. So we are at a place where we're very fortunate. We have repeat accounts for large sports franchises and malls, and so right now we focus a lot more on our corporate clients. So that's where we are now. But where we really started was in weddings. And so we still do a large part of our business throughout the year outside of Christmas, you know. But just to go back, we also do Easter with the Easter Bunny, right? So that's another activation, a week long at multiple locations. But we also have a large a wedding plan presence that we do. So that's pretty much where we are, and we're not about the quantity, we're about the quality of our clients, because we found the one thing I learned over 12 years of photo boothing is don't drop your price for somebody because they just don't value what you do, and they end up being the hardest clients to deal with. So not only are they the cheapest, but they complain the most. Where somebody comes in, hey, how much is your photo booth? We do this, and it's this price, and they see it, they read your reviews, they understand it, they've seen you. Sure, no problem. Send me an invoice. And so that's where we're at. We're focusing on the quality of our clientele versus the quantity.
Beautifully said. Rex, you mentioned a few things that I want to revisit, and this was I love how you laid it out, and you just made me think a little bit here. So, corporate clients, retaining those corporate clients, those are quality clients. Those are clients that are going to bring you guaranteed bookings throughout the annual, and you already have a built relationship with them. There's an expectation that's met every single year, multiple times throughout the year. I love the marketing aspect from both sides. One side is how a shopping center gets their merchants to contribute to actually get in-house, in-house foot traffic. That's going to benefit their store. I love that. I love that because
it's a win.
So basically, the marketing team within the shopping center says, hey, let's reach out to our merchants. Let's incentivize this program and have them pay for Santa.
Right. Imagine this, and I don't know if you have any kids or not, but a lot of times families go to the mall and they see the Santa booth, and the first thing they think, oh man, that's it. It's $39.99. It's gonna be, that's what people expect to pay. But at some of these smaller malls that understand the value of it, because now they take it home, they take the print home. They also have the logo on there, courtesy of X and X Mall. So it's free advertising for them. And then when we do the photo booth and they have the Santa, and we give them the photo, and they all say, hey, can I use my phone? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. It brings so much value to the client, it brings a lot of value to the customers, and it makes them want to come. So the malls that use us, that we're in partnership with, they love the concept, and even though it's the same year after year, they love it. I mean, one of the things we can now that I'm thinking about it is, man, maybe we can upsell them to like 6x8, so we could get even more stores involved. We can do a larger print and maybe even get to an 8x10, right? And gift that to them, because they're not going to throw away. It's not like a wedding where you just print them out randomly. You see them all over the table. When families come to do Santa photos, they keep them, So yeah, I think it's great from a marketing aspect, and I think once you get a customer like that, you do everything you can to hold on. Like, show up 2 hours early, fine, I'll be there 3 hours early. Stay 20 minutes late. Yeah, I understand we started late, don't worry about it, I'll take care of you. It's a give and take. It's that managing client expectations, because you start nickel and diming them, they're just not gonna like that, because they understand crap happens with you. Hey, our printer stuck, it's gonna be 5-10 minutes. I'm gonna pull out my backup, get it going again, don't worry about it. But they were down for 10 minutes and they get panicked. They looked at the line, because the Santa line, always long. So it's that give and take with your client, and you wanna try to manage that. And that's where we are. But everybody's business is different. And some is like, man, I wanna rule the world. I want all of it. And I just, for our company right now, I just don't think every client is for us. And we're okay with that.
That's beautiful. A lot of folks do have to understand that even though they're going to get paid for an event, it's the longevity of that business relationship,
Yes.
and if it's aligned with their overall mission, and
Yes.
even aligned with their energy and personality. Some folks are terrible at signing the contracts.
Yeah.
Some folks will leave you on red and then contact you again 4 days prior to their event date, hoping that you can still show up to their event. It's like, no, man. Like, I have to prep for your event. I can't be there if you give me a 4-day notice. I can't do that for you.
Right.
I don't move at that speed because we move with purpose and not from pressure. We want to make sure we come prepared and that we're not rushing things. We're familiar with the outlay, point of contact, and so on and so forth. Other people are hustlers. Like, yeah, no, we'll be there. So now they're dealing with the client that books last minute. So on the day of the event, they're dealing with that same client with those same type of personality traits. And things can sometimes be very chaotic when you're dealing with that type of client. So I totally get what you mean by having corporate clients and also really fostering and
The relationship. Yeah.
throughout the year.
Yes.
Staying on their radar, sending them 1 or 2 emails every other quarter.
Yep.
You know, your strategy, I'm sure you've already honed in on. But so for you, Rex, it sounds like you've really dialed in on corporate relationships.
Sure.
Even though you were fixated on the wedding aspect of the industry.
That's how we started. I mean, everybody.
You were a
has-
photographer.
Yeah,
Right.
everybody has to start from somewhere, and to land an account like that, takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have it, you don't want to lose it. So it's hard for somebody else to get in, which means it's even harder for us to get another one. So when we have it, we foster it, we value it, and we just hope for the best. Nothing is forever.
Nothing is forever. You just gotta. You constantly gotta keep moving like energy.
Yeah.
That's all it is, right? Our mind, our thought. Those are just. We have to just move forward with the vision and don't fall asleep and become lazy. Like, continue working. It's a never-ending thing, right, Rex?
It is.
But to your point, it does get to a place. You do get to a place in your business when you can do minimal work, but just continue to move forward with that same expectation for that specific corporate client. Because corporations don't want to be dealing with new vendors either.
They don't.
It requires
They
work.
don't.
It requires money on their end to go through the whole filtering, the back and forth of the emails, send us your insurance,
Yes.
all that stuff. It takes time. Now, people just email you, Rex, we have an event on this day at this time.
I'll give you an example. I'm going to interrupt you, right? One of the things, and I know through your videos, watching your videos, check out his videos, guys, is we always recommend that you collect before you show up,
Yes.
right? So what does your contract say? Deposit when and final balance when?
Okay, great question. So when they go on my website to retain that date from it being not available, it's $200 to reserve it. Not so much of a deposit, but to reserve the date.
Okay?
Now,
And how long out? Just whenever they book, right?
whenever
Yeah.
whenever they
6
know
months
that
out, 1 month out.
it's going to be a good match, it's going to happen. We don't take on last minute events. I might change it in the future, but right now I'm satisfied
But I'm
with
going to get to a point with that. So 200 to reserve,
to reserve.
and then
Do
do you ever show up to a event without payment?
never,
Yeah.
Never.
Right. So I'm going to say something.
never, and
Yeah.
and I can even tell you exactly why.
Yes.
And it hasn't been more than one case because I didn't want to let one client ruin my perception on collecting a payment at the event. But because it happened 2 times, I said, wait a minute, there's a pattern here now. David, let's wise up and then start refining things so that everyone is on the same page and we set the expectation for both parties. And so $200 to reserve the date, and then full payment due 10 days before the event.
10 days. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So on that, I'm a total rule breaker,
Okay.
right? And what really allows me to do that is it's a little bit of a risk, but it's a calculated risk.
Okay.
So what happened was first of all, a lot of these large corporations, they pay like on a 30-day cycle. That's their
The net
account.
30?
Yeah, the
Okay.
net 30. So, um, believe it or not, the some of my corporate accounts don't give me deposits. We don't even do contracts anymore because we work with them so much, and we don't even do last minute like he said, but we will for them. So I get this call, hey, I forgot to book the the, the date the night before Christmas with the story reading. Oh my God, it's in 2 days. Can you give me a booth? And the answer is always yes, because we built that relationship. Not only did I not take it, I broke several rules.
Sure.
Not only did I not take a deposit, not only did I not do a contract, not only did I not collect payment prior to the event, but I did it all within 2 days or even the day before. And with corporate clients, when you just jump at their call because it was their mistake, then they're going to value that relationship even more because they know that you're going to come through for them.
I comprehend what you're putting down because
Yeah.
it's happened to me now with schools.
Yes.
Most schools are in a net 30.
Yes.
And because I've done multiple events for them for the last 2 years, for them, they vocalize it. They're like, David, it's difficult for us to pay you 10 days before the event
Right, so
date.
you're a rule breaker too.
Yes, for an event. So, because now we have a track record,
Yes.
right? We have we're building a foundation,
We
a
have
long-term relationship.
Yes.
I get what you're saying, Rex, by, you know what, I'm gonna bend the rules because my relationship with you long-term means a lot more than your few formats and text messages on my, not text messages, but like content on my photo with agreement.
Yes. Yeah.
And I get it.
And that school account is how many? You're talking prom, back
Sure.
to school night, winter formal, graduation. So one school is 4 or 5 events.
Absolutely, that's a couple $1,000 easily.
Easily. So that's another one, but they've been starting to get a little bit more difficult to work with because their insurance requirements are insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm okay with that because for the entrepreneur that's running a photo booth business and does things by the book, will be rewarded.
Yeah.
A lot of folks don't want to pay for the business license, for the house permit, for running the business out of their house, insurance. Dude, it's affordable. Just do it. It's
It
a
is
write-off.
affordable, but they're starting to raise. Like before, it was 1 to 2 million. Some of the trips, you can pay for a broken foot with $1 million. But now they're getting crazy. They're like 3 or 4 million,
Okay.
and then there's a lot of. Oh man, I hate to say this because of what the world's coming to. They have these sexual abuse clauses,
You gotta be part of.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
And when I started working some schools, I actually had to get fingerprinted so they could run me through the FBI.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I'm willing to do it
Right.
because think about each school that you get is how many of thousands, but that barrier to entry is getting higher. So you're right. For those people who don't want to deal with it, they have their 9 to 5 and they don't want to increase their insurance premiums for these accounts. They're gonna miss out. Man.
But for those that are go and do
Yeah.
the work, they'll
Yeah.
be rewarded.
Absolutely,
annually.
absolutely.
It's just how you frame it, right, Rex?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
It's
glad
an
you brought this
opportunity.
up because it's a good point. And from your general point of view in business, is you getting out of your comfort zone and doing the work that someone else will be too lazy to do, and that's why you're more successful with your business in that aspect because you're doing the work.
Right.
And I get it. So that school's bending the rules for clients that you know are worth the investment.
Right.
They're worth, like you said, making an exception for. And so I totally agree with you. I know I sound very anal and very technical when I say no, I don't do it. I don't do it for the new.
No,
for the
I
new
don't do it
clients.
for one-time
I
clients.
don't know you.
I don't. Yes, and I'm okay. A lot of people stress out about it. Look, I would rather not have the headache, and so that's where I am now. Right? You asked me where's the status is. I don't want to take those chances anymore because I don't want to chase after money. Schools, established corporations, dude, they would rather pay you off than go to court.
I'm
Right.
gonna ask you something, Rex, and I'm asking you specifically,
Yes.
just because you've been in the game so much longer than I have. I'm 2 years in at the making of this video, 2024. Barely hit the 2 year mark. And what I've come to realize is in business it's great to have ambitions and goals. But if you base it off I need to make more money faster, what'll end up happening is you don't move at the right tempo. And let me elaborate on that. It gets to a point now where I'm like, it's not so much about the money, but it's about me fulfilling a certain mission within the business. And I'll tell you what that means. So, a person that wants to make $4,000 part-time with the photo booth business will take on those events that are last minute.
Yeah.
But I had bad experiences with those last minute
Right.
events. What can easily happen, because there's a lot of chaos in the last minute, you might do something that that client blames you for and then takes it to your Google profile and gives you a bad review, and you're already dealing with a bad client from the very beginning. So why step into that vibrational energy, that type of atmosphere?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Another thing is, once you start seeing it, like, this is really, really weird, right? I used to see YouTube videos and Instagram reels of beautiful photo booth setups and people having a blast with a certain demographic client enjoying their booth. And I always thought to myself, man, people in this area, I don't know if that's my audience, my demographics, but I would love it. And I just kept focused on that, Rex. And now I'm doing events with that exact demographic just with a year in business, because I told myself I'm gonna gravitate, and somehow, some way, I'm gonna have them as my client base.
Yeah.
And those same type of clients, Rex, that took me a while to acquire, have gave me so much repeat business because of their social circle.
Right.
My services, my costs, my rates are affordable to them.
Yes.
Never no promos, no David, can I get a reduction? I'm a repeat client, can I get a discount? No, it's like, David, we are hoping you are available on this day. It's so amazing, right?
It is, and just to add to that is, we talked about our corporate clients, we talked about our school accounts, but one you don't want to negate is if you have a great relationship with a planner. The planner will call me and say, hey, I need a booth. We won't even do a contract anymore. She just said, where's the price at? So I know, and I can budget it out for the client. Just do it for me and bill me, and it's never ever been an issue. So you want to foster that. So one of them is like country clubs, golf clubs, a lot of weddings, they have to see
Great
golf
venues.
clubs. Yeah, Valentine's Day dance, they just find promotions for their members to do at their golf club, and that marketing team, they want to know who they're working with, because like you said, that style of client, they demand a lot. I mean, think about it, you pay $200,000, $500,000 to join a country club, they expect a certain type of service, right? So you can't, if they're not smiling and they're more demure, you don't take it personal. They don't want to wear the mask, not going to wear the mask with the Gucci suit. No, not going to happen.
Good point.
Right?
Good point.
So corporate clients, schools, but planners, right? You will that demographic into existence. And if the members like you, then and they request you, because they drive the club, they drive that marketing department. It's their money.
They're the main contributors, right?
Yes.
Right.
Then and you're good, then they're gonna have you back. Right?
Rex, within such a short time frame, you provided so much value, dropped golden gems left and right. Say, for example, you are here today at the Photo Booth Expo. You have a $10,000 budget. You haven't made any move. All you've done is just gone to YouTube University and gained knowledge, watched a ton of videos, and you showed up today. Okay, that's been your first investment. You're at the Photo Booth Expo today with $10,000, either by yourself or with your partner. How would you spend those $10,000 here at the Photo Booth Expo today to start up your photo booth business?
Oh, to start it up?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I wouldn't focus so much on the equipment. I think photo booth owners get caught up in what's the best booth to get, right? And to answer that, I give you what's the best booth to get is the booth that works best for your audience, your clientele, your company. You don't want to go buy something too big, like a mirror booth, and you own a Prius. Not gonna fit, doesn't make sense. You know, your attendant is 4'2", 80 pounds wet. Yeah. So staying on topic, it's not so much the money, because you can spend the money anywhere, online, overseas, Alibaba, Amazon. Here, I think with $10,000, I would focus on building the business, and I want to put this out there. I think some people might agree or disagree on the exact percentage, but in a photo booth business, the knowing the skill set is 10 to 20%, meaning putting the booth on the best at setting it up and taping down wires and designing graphics. Just preparing the booth, I'm the best at, wireless printing or hard wire printing. That's maybe 10 or 20%. The bulk of a photo booth business is knowing how to run a business, 80 to 90%. Just like I heard this from a lot of photographers, having the equipment is only, whether you shoot Nikon or Sony or Canon, that's only 10%. The other 90, the bulk of it, is knowing how to run a business. And when you come here with 10 grand, man, budget $19, $20 a day to take somebody to lunch. Because just like we're having this conversation here, man, with the value bombs, there's value bombs everywhere. And so focus on how to run a business. How did you hire people? Where? I ask people, and some of the most successful multi-ops, they use Indeed. We used to use Monster, right? How do you find people? Referrals. And so there's no, like when you join a company, there's always a company handbook, right? But in the photo booth industry, there's no photo booth handbook.
Until today, right? Ladies and gentlemen, if you use my code HandbookDavid, you can download this free. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, I'm getting.
Hey, there's an opportunity. We can make a handbook.
We might. Put the comments below. If you guys want to, see a photo booth handbook, I think that should be out there.
You can definitely put together a premium, double platinum handbook from A to Z.
Yes.
Because Rex, like I said, guys, he's been in the industry for over a decade.
Yeah. So running, so come here with 10,000. Okay. You just get what you need. I mean, some people are so established, they're looking for the latest and greatest. And the latest and greatest commands high prices because not everybody has it. But if you're just starting out, the 10,000, you don't have to spend it all. Just buy and try, because I'm that buy and try guy. I buy almost every booth that comes out at one point or another. And I realize, hey, if I don't end up using it, I can sell it. I'll lose some money on it, but it's okay. I got to test it, I got to see it, and now I know what's good, what's not, what works, what doesn't. Right?
It's all clicking for me now, Rex.
Is it?
I was thinking, why is Rex such a savage when it comes to hardware, software, the technical side of things?
Savage or equipment holder?
Yeah, both. You're a fusion of both. You're a hybrid. You're a hybrid. You do so much for the community, Rex. I'm gonna give you a second to shout out all your social media platforms in a few seconds, but it totally makes sense that you know so much because you will actually invest in buying what you think is going to be trending, what's going to steal the spotlight for that here in the photo booth industry. So you try it all, and I love that you say, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to get it down, I'm going to troubleshoot it, I'm going to give people
get to know your equipment.
Give people the strategies of the workarounds and so on and so forth. And this is exactly what brought me to your channel, is all the information and value you put out on walking people through the hardships of the troubleshooting. It's not syncing. How to connect this in the best way and get the best connection so that when I'm at that event in a rural area, I'm able to do prints.
Right, when you don't have Wi-Fi, what do you do?
All that great stuff. So for people watching here today, I'm going to put your information in the description. For the people listening, comfort of their home, their vehicle, when they get to their device, where can they find you, Rex?
Yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube, Rex's Photo Booth Reviews and Tutorials, or at Rex's Photo Booth Reviews. And where else can they find me? Oh, and the hashtag PBXRex. So if you hashtag that and search that, you'll find a lot of videos, but primarily is the YouTube channel right now, at Rex's Photo Booth Reviews.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Rex. It was a true delight. I'm filled with just, what's the word? I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped because you said some things that I really failed to even pick up on my radar because I'm in my own world as a businessman. So this is why it's so important to network. So I want
Right?
to thank you
So
for
people who didn't come to PBX, and you guys wondering, this is not my living room, not David's living room, but one day we're gonna have a set like this.
Yeah.
We're at PBX, and this, having here gave us this opportunity to do this podcast. So if I had 10,000, I would spend some money and go to PBX. It's the largest trade show for our industry. You don't necessarily have to buy anything, but meet people, take $20, go to buffet, sit down and have this conversation with people all over the world, right? This is an international conference, and talk shop. Take time to learn,
Yes.
right? You can learn about equipment, you can learn about techniques, you can learn about standard operating procedures. If this happens, how do you do this? Which way you can gauge which direction the market is going right now, right? AI is very hot right now, so you come back and watch this video later. Right now it's hot, and back in 2012, a lot of people thought the photo booth was kitschy. It was just a fad, and that it's gonna go away. And 12 years later, it's what I do for a living.
Yes.
So it is an industry, and we need to just support it. So 10,000, and you come spend money and network.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not about your current net worth, it's how fast your network is growing.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that, Rex. So guys, if you loved this, because I love this, right? Go ahead and stick around for the second episode. We're gonna be jumping into what stood out to Rex
That's a good one.
in the Photo Booth Expo of 2024 and why he's talking about it. Stay tuned in. See you guys soon. Peace. Rex, now let's do your favorite part, brother.
Yeah, man.
Because I know you
That
got
was
some
really
fire.
good. That was so good.
You want to take a quick, five? Maybe go to the
Yeah,
restroom,
yeah.
walk it off.
Yeah. You go. But I'm trying to. Yeah. And so I'm trying to think if we need the mics or not. I don't want to wear two mics. I don't know. Have you ever tried two mics? Is that too much? So I want to go live on my YouTube, so I can do. I've done live before, but now I know I'm gonna turn monetization, but I don't want to do it as long. So, or maybe we could. I don't know.
Just keep the cameras rolling, bro. Some magic will happen.
All right. Yeah. Cool. So I don't. So
Wherever you want to put wherever you want to put it.
okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna pee and come back and take a sip of water.
Yes, sir.
And you let me know how do I do? Did I